Okay, so I'm here in Substance Painter and I'm going to import or better create my new file based on what we just exported from Maya. So I'm going to go here under New. I'm going to use an SIM PVR material. The SIM is an Adobe system, so it's an adaptation to make sure that it works with Adobe. And I could go look here and look for my file. And I'm trying to select my folder there. Right now I have a location here on my local drive, but I want to show you something that sometimes happens when you're working on files. And Substance has a when you work on networks or when your computer works on kind of like on some sort of like a um, RAID system of your drives, it gets a bit funny. And for example, I have here my folder, my location, and I have my file. And I'm gonna open up here my robot pre-substance main file. I'm gonna open it, but then I'm just gonna give it the resolution to 2048. I'm gonna make it a little bit higher resolution. You can go higher, but I'm gonna keep it like that for now. Let's say OK. And here in the bottom lower left corner, it gives me an error that says unable to open the file. It cannot find it. So there is it's an issue that happens with Substance. Sometimes it cannot locate the file. My computer is arranged so that it can back up my files whenever I'm on campus, whenever I'm at home. So right now I'm working at home, so it's not finding the main connection to the location where the drive is supposed to be. So it's having a hard time with that. So what I do for those things, there are a couple of different options. You can put your file on an external hard drive that is not on your computer, or you can save it like for example, I did it to my C drive. So I'm gonna try it again, but this time I'm gonna go look for a version I put on my C drive here. I'm gonna scroll down to the users, and I'm gonna go into my user folder where I created a folder for my project, and I saved the file in there. So this is directly from the C drive. It's not looking for any map drives or anything like that. So I'm gonna go and try again my main file. And again, you can try on a external hard drive. I suggest you not to do it from a thumb drive or anything like that, because that wouldn't be beneficial. So when I go to 2048, I don't want to keep it at 1028, 1024 because it's too low resolution, especially for what we're doing. My character would suffer in terms of quality. I'm gonna keep it like that, 2048, and using the PBR metallic roughness, and I'm gonna say okay. I'm gonna discard the previous version. So now it's doing it, and now it comes and opens up the file fine. So I can close my log here. There is one challenge though, and that is that my file comes and many parts look good, but for example, the chest, the light, and his ears look jagged, and even the antenna has a little bit of a jaggedness to it. But the antenna, I think I can try using it like that, but the body does not have enough. I could try opening the ID file that is all full resolution, and that would let me do it. But I don't want to use the high version for it. So I'm gonna go back to Maya, and this is my main file, the low res version of it. You see here my models are kind of low res, and I'm going to grab those objects that are showing jagged like this. I'm gonna smooth them, right? And I'm going to do the same thing for those antennas, for those, yeah, mesh smooth, and I'm going to export out my robot one more time. So that gives it a little bit higher resolution, and when I export out the selection, and that will give me the option to export out the FBX again. This time I'm gonna call it free substance. I'm gonna call it v2 there, so I know that's my version number 2, and I'm gonna export it there, and I got it done. This file I will not save because I don't want to use that high-res model. I don't need it. I'm just need it for Substance. So I'm gonna just simply go and say, new scene. I don't save that file. So I don't have it there. I'm gonna go back to Substance now, and I'm gonna open up again. I'm sorry. Let me move my file to the folder, to the location where it needs to go. Okay, so I'm gonna grab it from the drive where I'm working on my version 2. I'm gonna copy from there. I'm gonna go to where, again, my folder, I did it on my C drive there. So I'm gonna paste it there. Again, you could do this to create your project on a external hard drive or a place that is not considered a network within your computer. And I'm gonna try opening it here again. So this one, of course, this is the old one. I'm gonna try one more time. New. I'm gonna go and look for my file. This is version 2 now. This is the one that is reading from my C drive. And let's say open that one and then keep it at 2048. And I'm gonna say OK. And that gives me a better looking model to work with. Again, and I'm going to be able to paint the textures here without a problem. Other things that we do is we add to this the mesh, map the meshes so that we have a bit better chance to do better kind of sort of displacement and stuff. So I'm going to go here under my settings. I'm going to go under my texture settings. I'm going to say bake meshes. And what that is a way to connect the meshes to the geometry better. I'm going to go again, crank up to 2048. I'm going to use the high definition model, which is my ID. Remember the ID file that we created. I'm going to use that one. And down here, I want to make sure that my name for the low poly model is _main, and the high poly mesh is _ID. I'm going to try to bake those. I'm going to keep the values as they come as default, and I'm going to say bake selected. So what that is doing, it is connecting the high resolution mesh to the low resolution mesh, so that whenever you're going to create displacements and all that, it will have a better chance to connect those vertices and deform properly and not kind of be guessing. And in another video, I show actually how I connect a sculpted version of it that I did in Mudbox, and I bring that high-res model to bring into this model a sculpted version that is a high-resolution mesh. So it goes through all of the whole thing. It's kind of baking them, creating the normal maps and the ambient occlusion and the thickness and the world space normal and curvature and position and so on. So it's almost there. It's just finished. So I'm ready to go and start texturing. I didn't do the antenna, but I think I can use the antenna, as I said. But now I can work on it. There's a little bit of a noise down here, but I think I can work with it. If you feel that it's not working for you, you can go and increase the resolution of the ID, meaning the highest resolution mesh, to get a better quality for it. Again, this model that you have here, you're not going to use back in Maya. You're going to use only the textures that come from this file out of Maya. And in the next video, we're going to start working in Substance.